Hello, this is Mesha with As Long as You're Breathing, and today I'm here, of course, with the Twin Flame medium, Gabrielle Washington, for her show Twin Flame Tuesdays, which is one of my favorite parts of the week. Girl, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful, girl. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's a little rainy here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I was listening to it rain this morning before I got up, and I'm like, I wonder if Gabrielle will do the show or not.
I've been up working, girl.
Oh my goodness. So, I guess we'll get right into it. Today, kind of what all of our questions are about is kind of about being in contact with your twin, how to do that, ways to do that, and well, what can become of that. So, what can become from that? So, it's kind of an interesting topic, especially um, since certainly whenever they do transition, we're aware that it's just a different frequency. They're just in a different vibrational frequency. They really haven't gone anywhere. And yet, of course, our physical beingness, they are gone. And so it becomes one of those things. It's like, okay, I know you're here, but you're not here. And of course, they don't have to be transitioned for that to be the
Yeah.
case. But that doesn't have to be the case. But so yeah. So the first question is then, how is it best to connect, or is there a best way? I mean, should you try using a medium? Should you try using guided meditations? Can you do it with your own meditations? Can it just happen spontaneously? I mean, is it sometimes not you doing the connecting, but they're doing the connecting? I mean,
Yes.
how's all this connecting up once they've transitioned? It's hard enough to connect, girl, when they're here. How do we connect when they've transitioned?
Well, I like to say when they're gone, it's actually a little easier because in the physical form, you have two egos. You have two egos that can butt heads, that can do all those things. But in the spiritual form, when they aren't in this physical form anymore, their ego is out of the equation. So therefore, you only have one ego to deal with, and that's inside of you. So when they're trying to communicate and talk to us, if we're aware that sometimes we're locking a lot of pain and stuff like that, we're not aware of the signs that they're sending us. But it can happen spontaneously. Like, for give you an example, for me, after my twin passed away, I've always been just open to things. As a child, looking back at it now, I was a medium as a child, but lost those abilities with all the limited beliefs and programming.
Sure,
And,
yeah. Because
yeah,
that wasn't the way to be.
yeah,
Don't be that, because those people are crazy.
yes.
So don't tell anyone that.
So when my twin passed away, he started communicating through music. Music was the first animals, butterflies. Went to his grave. A beautiful butterfly came up, was acting kind of strangely, just laying on me and just flowing. And I knew it was him. I felt it was him. And then after that, this song that I told you about last time, it was on this movie that I watched. And at the end of the movie, never did that before. Watched the movie all the way through the end. And this song, I knew it was him talking to me. So they talk in different ways. You have to be aware of the subtle signs. And then I had big signs as I had one of these little pins around my neck that kids wear in school. And and the energy of it started pulling off my chest. So at that time, I knew it was him. Like, I completely knew it was him. It was no doubt. So what I did, I got 3 pictures: one picture of me, one picture of his son, one picture of our son, and I flipped them over and turned them around. And I took the pin off my neck and asked the pin to go to each one of those pictures. I didn't know which one was which. I said, go to the picture of your son, go to the picture, and it went to it. So that was clarification for me that I was talking to him.
Holy smokes, girl. So we can have it can be anything.
Yeah.
I mean, they really can use any
Yeah.
means, because
Yeah.
as I started with, just because we don't see them, they're really, their energy
Yeah.
is still able to transcend
Yeah.
the fact that they've transitioned. So talk about transcending. That is some kind of
Yes.
transcending to do
Yes.
that.
Yes.
So you brought up that the ego is
Yeah.
not in play.
Yeah.
Now, my experience was, I had a relative that passed over. That, of course, as you know, my relatives contact me.
Yeah.
But this particular relative, his son passed over too. And when his son passed over, it was like Dad's still not talking.
Yeah.
And this relative, I had never been able to make contact with this relative, and we'd actually been very close in this life. And so, and there had been other things I'd been shown over the past few years, well, year and a half now, since I've realized that that I have medium gifts.
Yeah.
Since they came online,
Yeah.
I'd realized that he was not happy transitioned, and so are they always? I mean,
Well,
is there
that
something
that depends on
to do after you transition? How about that?
Yeah. That depends on. It depends on how much of a hell they had over themselves when they were here. It depends on because when they leave this reality and transition back, they go through like a stage in between, like a limbo stage in between.
Okay.
And so if they have wounds and beliefs about going to hell or whatever else, whatever they've done or whatever, then those can keep them in a prison per se until they transcend to where they need to.
This person definitely had those beliefs that you had to be on the straight and narrow and all of that stuff. So so okay, that makes sense because he is talking now, by the way. He's communicating now, and he's all it's all good now. But he was not. And so when you said that, I'm like, oh, that triggered that memory, you know. So all right. So it can happen spontaneously. They can contact you. It can be really bizarre things. How do you know that, like when it's a song or the butterfly, that kind of thing? I got with the butterfly because you know their energy. So you feel that it's their energy. Is it the same thing like when you hear songs and that kind of thing? Do you feel their energy with it too? So that's a confirmation, or
you feel their energy, and sometimes it can be you can just be doing something. Like I was doing something one day after he passed away, and R. Kelly's song "Turn Back the Hand of Time" just came into my head. Haven't heard this song in years, so I had to go back and go look it up on YouTube, look at the video. And when I saw the video, I just started crying because he lost his significant other in the video in a car crash, and I just spiraled then, you know. But I knew it was the song came in my head, and I'm like, I had this feeling, this clear cognitive like feeling of knowing that this was him, and so it's a knowing, it's a feeling. We have to learn how to trust ourselves. We have to learn how to trust them. And it's about letting go of the fear and the barriers, because in this process, it hadn't always been peaches and cream. I've let in certain energies that didn't need to come in because I wasn't aware of what I was doing.
girl, as you know, you've had to help me with that too. Yeah, those, because when we're open, if there's an energy that wants to communicate, so you and that's the thing when you start this journey, you don't know, especially if you're in grief and this has not been something you've done before, and they reach out to you and this is all new to you, and all the things, you know, because it doesn't have to be. It could be that maybe you're watching because you're interested in this, and maybe it's not about twin at all. You just want to know about connecting, and it's not just connecting. Connecting is not necessarily the hard part. And sometimes it's disconnecting that's the hard part. Maybe talk a little about how do we protect ourselves from, how do we make sure we're connecting with the right energies? And is there a right energy? I mean, maybe explain that, because that's for some people that's a little out there too. It's like, what do you mean? What are you connecting with then?
Okay, so you can tell when the energy is higher vibration and lower vibration. Now, when you're in a fear-based mode yourself, especially, or if you're in a grieving mode yourself, it can be kind of hard to decipher those things. And that's why I love, because I didn't have a guide going through this, except my spirit guides were trying to talk to me, but I didn't have a physical human guide. So I went through those things, and that's why I help people now, so they won't have to go through those scares and those things that I went through.
Yes. I don't want anybody to go through that stuff.
No. But so to give you, if you're doing this work and you're getting into this work and your gifts are coming on board, how you will be able to tell if it's a high vibrational energy or lower vibrational energy. That high vibrational energy will be a subtle sound, a subtle feeling. It's not abrasive. It's not overpowering. That lower, denser vibrational energy will be overpowering, trying to force you, trying to do this and
wounds.
Yeah. So you can tell, like, even with our thoughts, you can tell which one are lighter, higher vibrational thoughts, and which one are that ego or those negative thoughts that are trying to bring us down. They're just nagging away at us, you know. And those high vibrational thoughts and things are just subtle feelings, subtle instances, subtle
They're
here.
easy on us.
Yeah,
They're
easy. Yeah.
easy on us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, of course, Archangel Michael is like one of my guardians. I mean, he watches over me kind of like a hawk, actually. And when I've been doing medium work before, I've had people ask me, usually it's when people want to know about did their loved one commit suicide or not. That is one. And I've had those go very well. And then a couple of times I have felt the energy, and before, I mean, it would be like I could tell it was something was not right, and then it was before I actually connected. Archangel Michael's energy would just swoop in between, surround me, and be like, "No."
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, "No."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I would have to tell the person, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
we can't connect. And then of course they're all in. Okay, so was my loved one bad? Was there, why? And so then it's like I can't tell you what the reason is. There's just something about wherever his energy was coming from. Archangel Michael is not letting me go there.
Yeah.
And look, most of the time they can feel too. They can feel like, okay, the room doesn't feel right. There's, and I'm like, yeah. And so, and don't try to guess what that is.
Yeah.
Because once that's happened, don't let your mind start, oh my God, don't ruminate about it. Don't go into the illusions and delusions that we don't create a story that's not there. Just go with go with the exact story, which is wherever they're at, whoever was trying to contact us, we were protected.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen. And so I want people to know that they are there to protect you. And some of it, they do let some things happen, so we learn learn and not learn our lessons, but so we learn.
We learn, we learn how to work through these distant energies.
Right.
And as a person, the journey that I'm on now and the part that I'm in my life now, I work with a lot of dense energies. I had to transform some dense energies, some what you would call negative energies or demonic energies, And so this was a part of my journey. When I first got into my gift, Spirit told me, yeah, you're going to be working with the dark. And I'm like, oh no, what are you talking about?
Girl, I know.
What are you talking about? So that was frightening at first, but I had to up-level and uproot those fears and traumas and stuff around being afraid of the dark, being afraid of these negative energies. Because at the end of the day, they're just energies that are shut off from what they truly are. Everything comes from source. Everything.
Right. They're disconnected from source.
Just disconnected from source. And sometimes I will have energies that come my way that are asking to be transformed. Like negative energies asking to be transformed. And I have to stop what I'm doing and breathe and go into my energy work and show them, remind them who they are so they can transform. And after that, I send those energies off into the world to do good things.
That's amazing. That is an amazing thing, because there are, and I guess we should say, because this was something, as you know, that was dealt heavily with me when I first got into all of this, were the draconian energies. And I don't talk about those a whole lot because it's kind of controversial. And what is out there doesn't seem to be at all what I'm channeled about. That really, there was, because there's this teaching out there that the draconian soul group is a created soul group, and everything I've been channeled about it is no, that those are energies that in one way or another chose to disconnect from source. And so they simply don't get their energy directly from source. They get it from the people they're encountering. And there are, well, I've been talking lately about relationships and communicating. They tend to be, not necessarily, but they tend to be the people who are the narcissistic people, the people that are the ones that, okay, they don't intend good, because I believe that most people in the world actually intend good. Whether they do good or not, that's got to do with other stuff going on, their level of consciousness, their vibration at the time. But these people know that they literally they chose to be in the denser energy for one reason or another. And my understanding is, or aware at the higher levels, I'm making this choice. This is what I want to do. And so, but if they've made that choice, they can also choose to come back. And so that's what you're talking about. It's a beautiful thing. So Gabrielle, we can get into some darker energy. So how do we protect ourselves from that? How do we not do that?
Well, it's first being aware of where you are. where you are, where your energy field at. If you feel like you're in a lower vibrational place or in a depressive place or a place like that, being aware of where you are. Meditation is key as well. Meditation helps you to uproot those energies, let go of those energies. So meditation is fundamental to doing this work. I wouldn't have been able to do this work if I wouldn't meditate. But then also easy visualization techniques. Visualization techniques where you can visualize calling in the divine white light to protect you and cover you and surrender you in divine protection and light. You can also call in Archangel Michael, your spirit team, if you know your spirit team. So it's different ways of protecting yourself. We have all these teams around us ready and willing to help us.
They are. They are there. I like using Metatron's cloak.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's one of my big ones. They all have a cloak. So if you have an Archangel team member, just ask for their cloaks.
Yes.
If you don't know who your team members are, if you don't know who your guides are, that's okay too. Because if you ask them, they're good with that.
Yeah.
And they will make themselves known to you once you start working with them. So I guess that's the thing is if you're going to do this, and I'm quite sure that people who their twin has transitioned, one, they're aware they were their twin, or they wouldn't be even talking about it. So if you're going to do this, learn the ins and outs of it. That's the thing I think is, and it really is very individualized. It depends on what you are comfortable doing and what works for you. And I employ all of them now. It just kind of depends on how much time do I have? Where am I at? But you mentioned meditation. So meditation, especially I bet guided ones, is a good way to actually do this. Is it not?
Yeah, it is. It really, really is. And this is actually what I teach in the Twin Flame and the Afterlife program. When you're trying to connect with your twin flame, I teach the energetic works of protecting yourself. I teach the energetic works of meditation, of how to meditate. A lot of us think when we're meditation, we're just supposed to make our mind still. And when you get to that part of your journey, you're not going to be able to make your mind sit still. So stop trying to battle with your mind, because it's just a fight. You're battling yourself. So I always tell my clients, if I can meditate, I thought I wasn't going to be able to do it. You can do it too. It's about just coming back when you're listening. If you're listening to a guided meditation, coming back to the voice of the speaker, or coming back to your breath.
Your breath
is the most powerful thing that we have.
It's our life. Our breath is our life. So and we take breathing. So we don't realize the importance of we breathe shallow. We don't belly breathe. We don't breathe like babies do. And we don't understand that breathing slows everything down.
Yes.
And that's how we connect to anything, to ourselves, and certainly if we want to connect to the other side, just go into your breathing.
Yeah, go into your breathing. When those chaotic thoughts come up, come back to your breath. Come back to your breath, even if you listen to a guided meditation, or come back to, I like saying the speaker too, because sometimes we're just not aware of our breath. And when you start off, it's like, okay, some people are like, well, I can't remember to come back to my breath, but they can always remember to come back to the speaker. So come back to the speaker that's guiding the meditation. You are that powerful. Your conscious awareness is that powerful to come back to your breath or the speaker you're listening to.
Absolutely. And that's, you use the exact right term. It is our conscious awareness. Instead of just letting life happen to us. Everything we're talking about here is you becoming consciously aware and then acting upon that, which is your power. That is your power, is conscious awareness is your power. So is there anything else about, coming to a medium? If people don't feel like, okay, I don't want to start this journey by myself, that this is sounding too out there.
Yeah.
What if they come to you or someone like you, or even me, and connect that way? Do you recommend that?
I would too. I would recommend coming to a medium, but I would make sure you follow them, especially if you're not sure because there's a lot of people out there. There's some charlatans out there, you have to be very mindful of that. And that's in any area of work that we do,
every field,
everything. And so don't let that fear of someone, gypping you or something like that stop you from connecting to the other side. You can tell the true healers. We're doing this podcast. You can tell the ones that are here for the people. So find someone that you vibe with, someone that you trust, someone. A lot of people come to me, they don't even get a reading yet, and I give them a lot of advice even before they get a reading. Yeah, that's what we do.
That's what I do. Yeah,
That's what we do.
that's what we do.
And then they decide, well, you know what? She spent time with me without any kind of exchange. Then, I'll buy her service or, invest in getting a reading with her or him. So just be mindful, have discernment within yourself, and follow the people that interest you. So yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be attracted. That is energy. You're going to be attracted to the energy that resonates with yours. And we trust yourself when you feel non-resonant or dissonant energy.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's a voice that you're like, I really like what they say, but I can't listen to their voice, that's not the one for you.
Yeah.
Or if you really love their voice, but everything they're saying, you're like, I don't think so. That's not the one for you.
Yeah.
Or you just you turn them on and you're like, something's not right here.
Yeah.
Trust that.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with them.
Yeah.
It can just be that your energies just really don't match.
Yeah.
And so that's not the person for you.
Yeah. Because I've had to turn down some potential clients, that energy did not match. And Spirit was like, you're not going to be able to do a reading for them. And if I was just in it for the money, I would have just been like, come on, that's not what we're here for. We're here to help people.
Right, because and I guess that's the other thing too, is when somebody does come to us for something like this, I think they have to understand that Spirit gives us best and highest good.
Yeah.
So just because they come with a specific question doesn't mean that's the experience they're going to get. Mm-hmm. They're going to get the experience that Spirit knows they're ready for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because, and the truth of the matter is, it's not so much even about what Spirit knows they're ready for.
Mm-hmm.
It's what vibrational frequency have you brought yourself into? Have you healed enough for this experience or whatever? Because if you don't have that energy going out, that I'm ready for this, then you're not attracting the energy into. We put a lot of things off on Spirit like it's mystical.
Yeah.
But the truth is, the power really is within us, because if you're not healed enough for it, you're not putting out the energy to get it to begin with. Mm-hmm. You may be thinking, I want this, but the energy you're putting out, your energetic self, your higher dimensions, they're like, she's not ready for this. And so you're not going to get it.
Yeah. You won't even hear the message. I've actually had some clients that had got a reading from me, and at first they were kind of skeptical about the reading and stuff like that, and because things weren't in alignment with where they were. But then months later, they come back for another reading. It was like, you know what? Everything you said was right. I had to go back to that reading. It wasn't at that time, but I see it now. Sometimes you're just not there yet energetically.
And sometimes what we see or get is about something down the line.
Yeah.
So that's one reason why when you come to a professional for it, be open-minded about what you're going to get, because it's not like going to McDonald's and having it your way, or that's Burger King or wherever. It's not about that. It's the best food I've had lately. I don't even know the commercial. I don't watch TV anymore, so I don't know the commercial.
And I don't eat really that fast food anymore either. So.
Yeah, I don't know the commercials anymore. So whatever. But it's not like that. I mean, it really is. It's going to be the energy you're in. So, so if you're getting ready to do this, what if you are going to do it by yourself? Do you have like a few tips for how do they get started by themselves?
Well, meditation, like we just went over, grounding yourself, because when you're starting to work with higher energies, grounding is very important, because you can. When I first started this work, I wasn't grounded. Didn't know anything about grounding, just working with Spirit, didn't have any kind of physical guidance. And I would be loopy. Like I would feel like I'm legitimately high off something because I was so unleveled. So grounding, getting out in nature. I'm in nature now. Nature is the biggest thing to help you ground.
I love it. So then you don't have to necessarily think through the whole grounding thing. You're just out there, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I'm grounded. And so I was chronically ungrounded too, girl, and didn't have a clue, because I've got so much air and water in my chart anyway, but I've got lots of Virgo too. So I have which thank God, because since I wasn't doing any of it on my own, having the Virgo in my chart's all that kept me on the ground, I think. But I have tons of air, and then I have some water, and so I'm flowy, and so we have to be grounded, and being grounded is what takes all the things that we know and feel, et cetera, and it's what makes it an actual experience. And so grounding is necessary.
Yes, grounding, and then protection. We went over protection, protecting yourself, protecting your energy. You can use certain herbs for protection. You can use certain crystals for protection. I make crystal jewelry, you know.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And I want an amethyst one now. We got to get back to that
Yes,
too.
we do.
So, yes, you do. And I keep them all around me.
Yeah.
As I'm working. I have
Yeah.
a garden of it
Yeah.
back here with like an angel and all that. You've seen,
Yeah.
But I keep amethyst. I keep, I keep rose quartz. So what crystals would you recommend for doing this?
For protection, I would recommend an obsidian or an onyx.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both,
Yeah,
both
both of them.
you said them and I'm holding them. So there you go. I may have talked to you a few times.
To channel higher vibrational energies, I love clear quartz. It was the first crystal I used to communicate with my twin, actually. Clear quartz. If you're doing any kind of love work, since we're talking about twin flames, rose quartz, you have the rose quartz there.
And amethyst too.
And yeah, the amethyst. Yeah, the amethyst. Yeah, both of those. Both
together.
Of those. Yeah. Yes.
I'm thinking this is my new bracelet. Is these two right here?
Yes, those two right. I think so too. I like
so. Go ahead.
And another one would be moonstone. Moonstone is a psychic, energetic. You have them. And it's good for twin flames too. It balances out that divine feminine and masculine energy as well. So I
have this one.
Oh yeah. Yes. That communicates selenite helps you to communicate with angelic beings, higher beings of light.
Yes.
So yes. That's another crystal as well.
and of course I keep bumblebee quartz around.
Oh yes, I love bumblebee. I don't have any bumblebee
jasper,
quartz.
Bumblebee jasper.
Yeah, I don't have any bumblebee quartz, but that's another one too.
Yeah, in my pyramid shape. And so you may be drawn to particular shapes and that kind of thing too. So
yes.
What about pendulum work? Do you recommend pendulum work?
I do. And I've met some psychic and mediums that pendulums don't work for them. When I first started doing pendulum work, it worked for me. It helped me to communicate with my twin, but I don't use the pendulum anymore. I just kind of migrated from it, but I still like having a pendulum, but I just don't use it. But there's nothing wrong with the pendulum. I've been feeling like I want to get back into it, but I just haven't. But pendulum work is a good thing to help you to be able to start connecting, because you're connecting with the energetic fields. And especially if you have a crystal on there, that crystal is already holding a frequency for you,
Right, yeah.
So yeah, pendulums are a good thing too. Tarot cards. I do tarot reading. I'm intuitive tarot. So tarot cards are very important as well.
Right. Yeah. I was going to show, because I have an amethyst pendulum.
Yeah.
The obsidian.
Yes.
Rose quartz.
Oh, girl, you got a whole army of them.
I've got a whole army of them because they work with the different chakras.
Yes.
I have like an opal.
Yeah, opalite. That's like opalite.
Yeah. And then of course just the clear quartz.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Just the clear quartz. And I don't use them as much anymore either. Because I have the internal yes or no's, which of course you can develop too.
Yes.
Just by training yourself, just ask what is my yes. Just like you ask a pendulum, show me your yes.
Yes.
Because they're different for every pendulum and for you. And you can train the pendulum. You can ask it to switch it too. Show me your no. Show me maybe. And so, and of course, I'm not doing anything with my hand. It's just doing that. But you can do the same thing with your internal too. You can show me my yes. And just feel, and in your clairsentience, I mean, I immediately got the squeeze, the yes squeeze. Show me my no. My bottom just drops out, just boom for no. Show me wait or maybe. Yeah. And then I get like in the middle of my body, I get a, so, and all of this is just being open to that.
Yeah, it is. So there's different ways.
Yeah. I guess that kind of guides us into it's kind of our segue here for all the clair abilities, because the clair abilities are how we do this. So you were talking about tarot, intuitive reading or go by the books or what?
Well, it depends on, for me, when it comes to book, I don't know anything about books and tarot. I'm an intuitive reader. I'm an intuitive tarot reader. So I read the card, I see the card, and I'm able to intuitively just know what it is. So that comes from my cognitive ability, being able to know, a knowing. So we
No.
all have different clairs. Some clairs might be stronger than the other.
Mhm.
Some might come on later on in life.
Yeah, some are just naturally there your whole life and you don't know what's happening. And
Yeah.
like all the voices.
Yes, yes. I know. So for me, I have more so my main ability right now is clairaudient. When I talk to spirit, I hear spirit. When I first got into this work, I had a lot of clairvoyancy come on, but as I was depending on that too much, to just see my twin, spirit kind of shut that down. But now they're starting to come back on board too. So I'm having more clairvoyant abilities, and then clairsentient. That feeling, a feeling of just knowing that it's right. Yeah. So it's a lot of different clairs. Go over a couple of different clairs for them.
Of course, clair smell, the clair salience.
Uh-huh.
This is one that I didn't think I had, but I'm just going to say it. I'm not going to get too personal here, but I'm just going to say that on 3 different occasions now, there's someone who has a very distinct cologne they wear that is very dear to me. And I've been out walking in the middle of nowhere, no one around. I mean, nothing around, and then intensely surrounded by that cologne. And you talk about smell, and they say this, that smell is one of the most important to get people's attention and to reach people. Talk about as clairaudient as I am, as clairsentient as I am, all of those things. I think I have felt in some way more connected at those moments, and maybe too it's because they're not all the time, and so it's but just to be standing out in the middle of the forest, basically, taking pictures of squirrels or something, me and my rascal pictures, and so doing something like that, and then all of a sudden have their cologne surround you. I mean, I've literally before gone like if there would be a building, I would go around the corner to see, that building's 20 yards away, but I'm still going to go and see if there's somebody standing there, and nobody's there. I mean, so
and sometimes you'll smell a scent and you will be the only one smell it. No one else around you smell it.
Right.
That's spirit. That is spirit trying to get your attention. It might be, sometime it'll be like a loved one might have passed away and they might have drunk alcohol or something. You'll get a whoosh of alcohol smell all of a sudden. You're like, why do I smell alcohol all of a sudden? And once you start asking these questions, they will start coming in your awareness. However way spirit talks to you will let you know what's going on.
Yeah, it's been I think that the clairsentience for the salience. I'm sorry.
Salience.
Yeah, the clairsalience for me, I think, has been when I have needed comforted. When I have felt like nothing is working. This is never going to happen. When I've been, I think, and I've been walking and I meditate when I walk. That's another way you can meditate. Meditation. And I think those times have happened either whenever I've needed comforted or when I've just about given up. And it's like, why are you giving up? I mean, his scent is with you, for God's sake. So why are you giving up? It's like, okay, there's no giving this up because, the cologne is following me around. So the other one, clairgustance, which is taste. And basically, if you notice, these are all our 5 senses. These are the enhanced version of them as you are open to them and aware. It's, again, conscious awareness. So we all have them. It's our regular senses, but your clair abilities are like, they're heightened. It's like the bionic man. Okay.
Like a superhuman.
I'm showing my age here. It's a bionic man. Now that is one I really don't think. I don't think that clairgustance. I don't think that's one that I've ever really encountered. But
I have before, and I didn't realize it today until we were talking about it because I didn't even know it was a thing. I just said, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, but it's all of our senses. Yeah. So what about the clairvoyance, the clear seeing? That doesn't necessarily mean you see the person.
Yeah.
But
it can mean different things. For some people, their clairvoyant abilities can be like, I'm sitting here, spirit is sitting there, and they can legitimately see spirit over there. For some people, it's that internal, the third eye. You're seeing with the picture of your mind's eye. And you can, so sometimes I'll do a reading And if I'm doing a mediumship reading and someone loved want to come through, they'll give me, sometimes they'll tell me descriptions of how they'll look. Sometimes they'll show me a picture of them, of how they look. And then I'll give that client a description of what I got in the picture or what I heard from spirit of their description to give them clarification that I'm talking to them. So it can come on in different ways. It just depends on how you interpret it, how your filters interpret what spirit is saying.
I think that's important too. Let's talk about filters.
Yes.
So here you are. Maybe you're a little afraid.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not at all afraid.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just really, really excited and
Yeah.
anxious for it. Or maybe you're halfway not believing or whatever. So explain how all that affects it.
Well, those are different lenses. Those are different filters. So when we have a lot of different lenses and filters up, it's harder for spirit to get our attention of what's going on, because I like to say it's like we have a coloring book or a movie, a black and white movie, for example, and it's black and white. But as time went on, our movie now is in color. So when we have these different lenses on the world, we see the world in black and white. We don't see the beauty in everything. We don't even get a chance to really get in tune with our abilities. But when we start to up-leveling and uplifting these things that are holding us back from communicating with spirit, then we start to paint the picture in light color. So it's kind of like just letting go of the fear, not having any expectations. Don't, you can be too overexcited for something and stop stuff.
Yes.
Or you can be, I don't believe in none of this stuff. And then you like, okay, well, spirit is like, well, dang, I'm trying to show you stuff, but you're not even looking at it.
You're not open to it, right?
Open to it. So just be in a frequency of, I'm just going to let this flow to me, how it flows. Be in a frequency of flow. Imagine water.
Yeah, imagine water, which is very grounding, by the way.
Yes.
But I think from an energy management standpoint, for those who are, it's just energy. Okay, if you're putting out, not so sure about this, well, you're going to get back the amount of energy we'll give you a little bit then because you're not so sure. Yeah. If you're like, this scares me, and you're putting out fear, what you're going to get back is something that causes you more fear. Whether it's really a fearful experience or not, it's going to be fearful for you. And so it really is what you're putting out. So if you're going to be open to this, be open to it. Or put that energy out. But I think the other thing is, in the way, for those of us who know it's more than just energy, it's conscious energy. We could be putting out nothing, like me out when I'm walking and I'm putting out nothing, and yet it comes anyway. And so that is, we're open to it. Yes, it could be energetically attracted because I'm open to those things. So that helps. But it's also some energy somewhere, whether it's spirit, whether it's that person, whoever, somebody's energy somewhere is knocking on your door. So we do get things sometimes that, and that means it's conscious energy. Whether it's a person's consciousness or the conscious energy itself.
And I'm glad you said that, because that's another thing too with energy work. We have to be very mindful of the energy that's coming our way, because a lot of times we internalize this stuff if we're not sure of where it's coming from. You could be perfectly fine living your day in high vibration, all of a sudden just get a whiff of, I don't feel like anything today. And it could not even be anything going on with you. You could be receiving energy from someone else. They could be consciously doing it or unconsciously doing it. It could be, the energy of the collective. We have a lot going on. We're feeling this stuff,
The collective, absolutely.
Yes. So we have to be mindful of what's ours. That's why doing this work is so important. So you can be able to learn. You're not just going to learn this overnight, but when you start to feeling and getting used to your energy and what another energy feels like coming towards your way, then you can internalize it and say, you know what? I can send it off with love. I don't have to interact with that energy, and I transmute it and send it off with love. Or if this is my energy, then let me see what's going on with me. Let me work on this and uproot whatever this is while I'm feeling this kind of way.
Absolutely, yes. We tend to think our first reaction is, it's about me.
Yeah.
Well, and that's taking personal responsibility. What do I need to release? Yeah. What do I need to progress from? What do I need to dig up here? What do I need to journal about, or whatever your method is? But sometimes the truth of the matter is, it has nothing to do with us. We're just open to it for some reason. And especially if it's our twin, transitioned or not transitioned, we're open to it most likely. And so when you're feeling something that you're just like, okay, I'm feeling this, but ownership of it doesn't seem right,
Mm-hmm.
trust that.
Trust that. Yeah.
It's not yours. It's
Not
theirs.
yours. Yeah.
It's not yours. It's theirs.
Yeah.
You know, and but you have to be consciously
Conscious.
aware of that
Mm-hmm.
fact. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So anything else about the Claire abilities or other?
We do have it was another Claire I wanted to talk about because that Claire, and you might be able to look it up while we're on here. That Claire is the one when you're in tune with the environment. It's a Claire ability, and I actually have that ability. Actually, that's why in the wintertime I have to close my throat and stuff because the cold weather will activate my throat to start getting irritated. So when you're in tune with Mother Nature, you're in tune with the seasons. When the seasons change, you feel it in you.
Okay, I'm googling.
Okay, yeah,
Because I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
But I don't know that I've ever seen the
an
name
environmental
for it.
Claire, and I forgot the name of it. It's a lot of different Claires. So it's a lot of different Claires out there. You could read about all these different Claires. But it's when you're in tune with Mother Earth. And my half of my zodiac sign, I'm an Aries and Taurus cusp. So half of mine is Earth. That's that Taurus. So I'm very in tune with nature and when she goes through her ebbs and flows.
I'm not finding it.
You're not finding. Okay. Well,
yeah. Tangency? That's got to do with muscle training.
Yeah, muscle.
Yeah.
Let me see. I got my computer right here. Let me see right quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see right quick.
Yeah, I'm not finding it. But I do know that you're absolutely right. But
yeah,
tangency, that's an interesting one. I'd never seen that term before because I experienced that too. And I'm like, okay, I'm not sure what this is. I just went with the clairsentience and took it as the feeling one. But for reading of it, it's the one where the muscles do different things.
Okay, yeah, and yeah, I didn't even know that one either. Like I said, I knew it was a thing, but I didn't know it was a term.
Well, you feel it, so I just went with clairsentiency with it. But it's actually from what I was reading there, it's clairtangency. So,
wow.
Wow. So there's always something out there to learn.
I can't find it either, but it's a lot of different clairs. But you can be in tune with Mother Earth, and I said that to say because a lot of times when Mother Earth is going through her seasons, that's why people suffer from seasonal depression.
Yes.
Those people that are really in tune with nature tend to suffer from seasonal depression if they're not aware. And they're just like, oh, well, seasonal depression, I'll just take a pill, whatever, and this and that. But you're in tune with Mother Earth. She's going through her ebbs and flows. So you're in tune with the energies that be. You just have to learn how to work with those energies within yourself. So these are all our abilities, all of our feelings and abilities that we're able to connect with the energy of the planet and everyone else around us.
That also opens us up to the astrology of it all too, and all the things going on energetically that way, because everything is relative. Yes. So, and I talked about this last time, how the new moon, full moon affects that dimension as well, which blew my mind when that was channeled to me. But I'm like, I didn't think about that, but yeah, working with the different energies. If you know your astrology, if you're keeping up with it, there are times when you are more open to psychic abilities. So when you're first learning, first starting to use your gifts, if you know, wow, I'm in a phase of, whatever. And that means, and you need to look at your astrology and talk to an astrologist. But then there are some that are just like, when super moons are coming. I mean, my gosh, the downloads we get. If you're an open conduit for that, look out.
Yes.
And I guess it's the other thing too is don't get overloaded with this. Don't be open.
Yes. And you can shield yourself. When I first got into this work, I went to a shaman and she told me, I didn't even know I was a medium yet. And she told me later on, she told my spiritual mother, I call her, that I was a medium. And she told me that I was a medium. But she had told me at the time, she said, you're going to have your guides. Are you starting to hear your guides yet? I'm like, no. She said, well, they're going to start talking to you. And she was asking me, do I travel dimensions? And I didn't even know that's what that was. And I'm like, well, I think I am because I'm starting to see past this reality. She said, you're traveling dimensions. So I'm like, okay. But I was an open book. I had one incident, I never forget, where I was just sitting down. All of a sudden, I got a rush of I just saw a rush of souls come my way. And it just seemed like I was just like at the only thing I can imagine was I was like at this booth and a lot of people was coming to me. And when I told her that, she said, you're going to have to sit down boundaries because Spirit knows you're open book now. So it wants to communicate. They want to come through and get messages through. So you're going to have to tell them, look, I'm down. I'm not in service right now. So that always stuck with me because when I go in public places, I have to make sure I put those walls down. I'm like, this is not it. I'm here to do what I need to do. Now, if someone needs to really come through, I'll let spirit, my guides will let them come through and I'll be able to transmute that. But I just don't walk around being an open book because it can be a lot of stuff come your way and throw my game off. And I'm like, no, it's closed right now.
Absolutely. We have to we
Yeah.
have to take sovereignty over
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And but it's it can kind of get addictive though.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's like and not addictive like
Yeah.
I mean it in a bad way, but
Yeah.
it's like when you figure out that you have this natural ability to do something, it's kind of like, what can I do next? What can I do next? What can I do next? So what about coupling that aspect with the fact that you're emotionally attached to this person? Okay, so you've got the adrenaline rush because, wow, I can do this, and you've got the adrenaline rush because, and I'm in touch with my person.
Mhm.
That could probably get a little obsessive.
Yeah. So I need to talk about that really. So when I first started this journey, and started communicating with my twin, I was so happy, so excited, all those emotions. And after I went through my scare and transmuted that, and I knew I was talking to him and all those things, and he would always show himself to me. I would see him clear as day, in my mind's eye. And so it got to a point where that's the only thing I was focused on. Spirit was like, you have other abilities, you need to do other things. But I wasn't sudden it. I was just like, I just want to see him and that's it, you know.
Right. You were still grieving. You
Yeah,
were
I was
still,
grieving.
yeah.
I was grieving.
And it was actually an avoidance of grief
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I want this world. He's
Yeah.
still here, there. So, yeah.
So what happened was he gradually stopped showing himself to me. I wouldn't see him anymore. Then I went through a little phase where, why isn't this happening? And I have a lot of people come to me like, well, I was communicating with my twin, then all of a sudden it just stopped all of a sudden. And that's when I asked them, where are you energetically? Were you just developing, just working with them all the time and extracting from this reality? Because the twin flame mission is so much more than that. They come to us, they want to talk to us and communicate with us because we have work to do together. We're doing this part of the work this way. So many people that I talk to that twin is passed over that are mediums as well, they talk exactly like I talk because they're working with their twin in their own avenue, doing their own thing. And so spirit gives you this gift to know that you're working with your twin, but not to get caught up in it. That's with anything. You can drink too much water, you can too much of anything. So you have this gift to be able to help people. You're working with your twin to be able to help others, not to just be always about, oh, this is me and my twin and that kind of energy. It's about the frequency of love, unconditional love flowing to everyone.
Yeah, it's about understanding that everything that goes on in our life is about ultimately what are we willing to put back out into the world.
Yeah.
And that whole it's all about me stuff is we did a disservice to people by letting people think that self-care was about all the boundaries and just stopping with taking care of self. And we did not, and it was conscious awareness at the time. So it wasn't like anybody did anything purposefully.
Yeah.
People weren't taking care of themselves. We
Yeah.
needed to teach that, but it got, like all things that we do, out of balance. And we went to the extreme with it, when the truth is the whole reason you're doing that to begin with is so you can be of use to the world. I mean, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
We're here to it's got to be an exchange. It's got to be an energy for energy. So that's all very important.
Yeah.
I think for those whose twin has not transitioned, this is something. The 5D or higher dimensional aspects of them will communicate with you. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're 3D, and this doesn't have to be a twin flame. This can be anyone. Doesn't necessarily mean that their 3D is even aware that their higher aspect is communicating with you. And that can get very confusing. Talk about, okay, when you see the person and they act one way towards you, but yet you absolutely know the communication from some aspect of them is coming through and saying something entirely different. That can be confusing. Does that is that even possible with a twin that's transitioned, or is it always going to be authentic and fully them?
From my experience, it has always been authentic, and I want to say the reason why, because the ego persona is not here anymore. But and the reason why I said it too, because one of the scares I had in this journey, I was driving, and I felt this abrasive energy trying to control my car, and I heard my twin as clear as day said, "Trust me, I have you." So he would not let that car move. Like people around me thought I was crazy because I could not move the car. His energy was stopping me from getting on the interstate because that energy was trying to get me to get on the interstate. And I was ungrounded. I just started doing this work, just communicating with him. I'm an open channel, letting all these energies come my way. Didn't know any better, you know. And I heard him as clear as day, his voice, "I got you, trust me." So I trusted him. So his voice is very clear than that other energy that was trying to get me to do whatever it wanted me to do.
I have chills right now.
Yeah.
I absolutely have chills right now, which of course, yeah, there's always so much love comes through when you talk about something that he did like that with you or whatever. So much love comes through. And so I guess that's a good way to wrap it up is really what all this is about is you loved this person. You still do love this person. It's a love that was here before the two of you were even here. It's always been since the moment you were created because you were one. And so you love this person. And regardless of whether they've transitioned and regardless of whether they're alive and they're 5D's talking to you, but they're 3D won't have anything to do with you, or you're in union, you know, regardless of what it is, it really all does come down to the fact that that is a relationship you can't shake because, I mean, we're always in relationship, but that was our original existence, our original form. So trust that, if nothing else, is that this is me, that you know, and I'm them, and while you're whole and complete individuals now, and meant to be, you're still there is that essence of you that the love is there no matter what.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the love is there no matter what. It doesn't mean you're happy about how it's there necessarily, but that's becoming consciously aware of that and in making decisions from that standpoint, it does help. It doesn't seem so at the time because you're intense and you want it to be a certain way, but we don't.
That's our human ego persona that makes us. Yeah, that's why I said it's a little easier when one is crossed over because we're only dealing with one ego. That
right. Well, and whether they're here or on the other side, I mean, we want what we want, but the truth of the matter is they are whole and complete themselves, and therefore, what do they want? And so we can communicate, but they have their own things to deal with too.
Yeah. That's it.
And I've heard you say that your twin he's doing other work too. So the people on the other side, it's not just about us. Hey, I want your attention. They're doing other things, just like in the real world. You know, they're off doing other stuff too. You can't dominate all their time.
And we are multiple dimensional beings, so we can be in more places at one time. Our higher self is in this reality and another reality and everything else, you know.
Right.
Because I'm glad you brought that up because I've had people that ask me, well, I don't want to feel like I'm using too much of their time or wasting too much of their time or whatever. You know, the way I look at it is it's hard for our 3D mind to grasp how spirit works. But the best thing I can say is look at it as this energy, broad energy, and you're putting off a frequency into these different vehicles, these different suits. And so your higher self, that higher energy, can always still be there for these different avenues.
Right.
My twin has already reincarnated in this lifetime. He wasn't going to, but he already has. He's actually in India somewhere. I hadn't even he told me a little bit about it, but I didn't even want to go too much into detail about it. You know, that's his new life in there. He's a baby now, you know.
Right.
He's a baby now, you know. A little bit younger than my son. But with that being said, I'm still in communication with his higher self. Our higher self always do work. And I do feel like he showed me a picture of later on in my older age, I'm going to meet him in his new form later on. Our family's gonna meet up and say, hey, so when it happens, it happens, but yeah, so this is just, it's a beautiful journey. It really is. It really is.
Right, because even when they have trained, whenever they have come back into another life,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't make the reverberation
Yeah.
of the energy of the
Yeah.
life that they lived here with you.
Yeah.
That doesn't go away,
No.
and that is a part of that's why Akasha exists. That
Yeah.
record is always there, and
Yeah.
so and it's energy. So they are very capable of knowing I was I wrote this role for
Yeah.
that point,
Yeah.
that period.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing this role, but they're still the same, and
Yeah.
they're very aware. So they've not forgotten you. They've not moved on from you because it is energy. They are able to do both.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
That's the beauty of it.
yeah, it is. All right, girls. So how is it going with the voting?
Oh my God. So I am keep voting, keep voting. We having to, well, it's 3 rounds. So we're in the second round now. So we're going into the second round. And I am number 2 in my category right now.
Yay!
So keep voting. This round ends on the 21st. And then they're gonna pick the first 15 people out of each category. And we go into the next round, and they're gonna study chop it down until we get to the TV show. So keep voting, keep voting. I'm in second place right now. Thank you guys so much for the votes. Everyone that's voted, continue to vote. And also too, if you want to inquire about my signature program, the Blueprint for Walking into Your Power, or the Twin Flame Afterlife coaching program, inquire about that. The Twin Flame Afterlife program, I'm just waiting. I haven't had a lot of pings on that, so I'm not gonna just put that up back into the atmosphere right now until I get people inquiring about it. When I do that, then I'll start to give more information about that. But right now, my major program, the Blueprint for Walking into Your Power, where we do all this energetic work, going through your energetic centers and learning how to love yourself and transmuting those shadows, that's available now. I only have 6 spots available because I have 2 people that are about to board on now. So 6 spots available for 16 weeks. And after, I only do 8 people per 16 weeks because it's a lot of energetic exchange between me and that person.
Yes.
So that's available now, and it's on sale. So the link is inside of my bio. The average price of this program is $5,000. It's on sale now for $1,000. So Spirit,
Whoa.
I know, Spirit girl. I don't know if you saw my reading last week. Spirit said it's time for you to be of service. So it's a lot going on in the atmosphere now.
Yes,
a lot of people
is.
are feeling and suffering. So this is my way of giving back, of doing all this energetic work, us getting through this work at a very, very good discounted price. So this is what Spirit told me to do. I move with Spirit.
Yeah, I know because I've spent time with you on this program, and,
Yeah,
and
yes.
16 weeks of your time, what you pour into it energetically, yeah, that's like a huge bargain,
Yeah.
a huge bargain. So yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, of course, we're still looking for authors for the Twin Flame compilation, and so I'll put that link down as well, so you all can inquire about that or reach out for us.
Yes.
But it's not just your normal compilation book. It's not, oh, I'm going to pay and I'm going to be in this book and I'll be an author and it'll be easy because I'm only doing 1 chapter. Well, all that's true. That is absolutely true. It's going to be easier for you to become an author because you are only doing 1 chapter. But we're going to make sure that you're energetically in alignment with the chapter that you do and that you have a plan energetically for what you want to do after the fact and how you want to connect with your reader, your following. And then, of course, ourselves, we have a plan for it, the same kind of plan. So your book can become your business, or if you already have a business, well, the book can enhance your business. Your business can be, books now are actually like your business card.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A book now is really your business card. Instead
Yeah.
of a business card, just and matter of fact, I've had somebody hand me their book and I handed them a card and they handed me their book. And so books are like our business card.
Yeah.
It's like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
So being an author right now is a huge thing. And so because I teach energy management, that's what I teach, which is a great deal of what we talked about today. How do you ground? How do you center? How do you shield your energy? How do you make energetic space for things? I teach all of that to whoever comes on board. Plus, I know many of you are going to want to do workshops or speak at live events or whatever. So if you don't already have a way of developing tools to go with what you're writing, Gabrielle and I both are open to helping you develop a meditation to go with it, or a journal or something that goes with what you're saying. And that also makes our book very different than many books out there, is because it is going to be informational, but transformational. And so that's the other part of it.
Yes.
So it's an amazing opportunity. It's a great value for everything you're getting. You're really, the coaching alone is worth the price, to be honest. Like, just like you're doing, the coaching alone would be worth it, or just the way we're going to get you through the publishing process would be worth it. So either way you look at it, the link will be down there, and we're still looking for more authors for the Twin Flame compilation book, which I'm excited about.
Me too. I am too.
Okay. Well, Gabrielle, anything before we go?
No, that is all. And I love doing this.
I do too. I know I could just sit and just do this forever, but that's probably not the way to do it. So with that, y'all just gonna have to come back next Tuesday and see what Gabrielle and I can get into then.
Yes.
Thanks, Gabrielle, and thank you all for joining us with Twin Flame Tuesdays. And be sure to get your questions to Gabrielle so we can get those out here and answered for you. And as always, as Gabrielle always says,
peace and love for me and my twin flame.
There we go. There we go. Peace and love for me and my twin flame. I love that. Love that.
Thank you.